This is New York City Mayor Eric Adams, and he's a great example of everything that's wrong with politicians. And I'm going to show you why today. You see, they just launched a campaign, and New York City is trying to encourage Floridians to move to New York, to get out of the Sunshine State and get away from the culture war around this Don't Say Gay bill and move to the Big Apple. And they're pushing it with taxpayer dollars, buying billboards and all this stuff.
New York City Mayor Eric Adams wants Floridians to move to New York. Here, Jakeway tells us about the new billboard campaign that kicked off today that denounces Florida's new education law.
Watch
New
this.
York City Mayor Eric Adams unveiling a new campaign imploring Floridians to leave the Sunshine State behind for the bright lights of the Big Apple.
All right, tempting so far. The bright lights of the Big Apple sounds nice to me. I'm a Floridian after all. Do I want to run away from what's happening here with Governor Ron DeSantis? Let's see what's happening in New York City. This is literally a poll from this week. What is Mr. Eric Adams talking about? He's talking about Don't Say Gay. New York City, nearly 60% of New York City voters say their family would be better off somewhere else. Maybe you should do less fishing and more trying to keep the fish in your pond. That might be the better idea if you're New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Literally 6 out of 10 people want to flee your city. Why? It's not rocket science. When you look at the actual issues they're facing, 4 in 10 say crime and public safety, 19% say cost of living, 9% say homelessness, which is largely tied back to the crime and public safety issue, and no one cares about Don't Say Gay or any of these cultural war issues. Your people are not happy. Look at this. My family would have a better future if we left New York City permanently. Strongly agree 25%. Somewhat agree 34%. 59% of the people in your city are saying they'd like to leave. And you're spending more of their taxpayer money on stuff like this campaign you're working on. So what's happening in New York? Let's take a look. 13-year-old girl arrested in hip-breaking attack on 76-year-old New York City woman. Surveillance video showed the attackers laughing and smirking as the 76-year-old woman was violently thrown to the ground, breaking her hip. Innocent New York City woman killed in crossfire seen diving for cover in new video. One angle of the surveillance video shows 4 men who were behind the victim get into an argument. All 4 of them pulled out their guns, and this woman ended up getting killed. And there's more. There's so much more.
New video this morning shows a brutal brick attack in Harlem. The victim survived, and now police are searching for his attacker, along with several other suspects in the case.
CBS News' John Diaz joins us live from the 32nd Precinct in Harlem with the
This guy is attacking people with a brick in broad daylight in New York City. What else is going on?
Police say the woman pushing the grocery cart in the surveillance video was just trying to unlock her building door when a man came from behind and punched her in the head, knocking her to the ground.
Oh, New York City. The bright lights are drawing me in. What else is going on?
And now new at 11, the NYPD looking for this guy right here. You see him in this video in connection with a series of attacks on Asian women in the city. All of them happening on Sunday night from East 30th Street to Houston Street. News 4's Tracy Strahan.
Wait, what happened here? I thought this was a city of love after all. We were supposed to leave hateful Florida and go to the city that opens its arms and welcomes everybody. Good old New York City.
Crime surging in New York City as Mayor Adams continues to roll out his new crime prevention plan. This morning, the MTA says progress is being made.
Oh,
but
yeah?
The question is, do passengers feel safe? Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller's live in Lower Manhattan.
Subway crime is such a problem in New York City that they can't go a week, it would seem, without having somebody shoved in front of one of these subway vehicles. The trains have to dodge human beings.
More. Good morning, Derek.
Ken, good morning. A man was slashed in the arm on a northbound 2 train here in Lower Manhattan yesterday. But then there was another anti-gay attack actually at the other end of Manhattan. Take a look at this video.
No, wait, what's this? An anti-gay attack? This seems worse than Don't Say Gay to me, doesn't it? Maybe. Let's see what else is going on.
With an attack so brutal, we had to freeze the video because it's too graphic to show. A 67-year-old Asian woman followed into her building in Yonkers and then beaten relentlessly. Police say a man punched and kicked her more than 130 times, and that man is now under arrest and charged with a hate crime.
I'm really starting to question whether I should leave Florida and go to New York City, but I'll give it one more.
In the Bronx tonight, a search for a suspect in an attack that can only be described as disgusting. That attack happened in a subway station. The man threw feces on a woman who was waiting for a train and then took off. That horrified victim today talked to Eyewitness News reporter Stefan Kent.
I don't think I want to be a New Yorker, guys. I don't think I want to be a part of this. Here's another one. I don't have to play them all for you. An attack on a Sikh man. This is a Hasidic man who was attacked. You know, these are all, there's so many of these. Hate crimes are on the rise. I don't see Florida cities popping up here, Washington, D.C. Well, I do see New York City right there. It is 6.1 in terms of per 100,000 residents in 2021. I do see stories that say hate crimes are up 100% in New York City. And I do see stories like this. Even though Eric Adams says, go away from hateful Florida, I see Rash Bar in Brooklyn set on fire by arsonists. And they say an LGBTQ plus bar in Brooklyn will remain closed as officials investigate the shocking arson that severely damaged the location while patrons were inside. Somebody literally lit the place on fire as they were partying inside this place. And politicians do this all the time. They engage in culture war issues because their base, full of mostly insane people, likes it. But guess who doesn't? Regular people. Nearly 60% of people in your own city want to leave. Maybe clean up your mess before you start going after other messes. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Facebook.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit that follow button. YouTube.com/thenewsjunkie. Hit subscribe. Thanks to all my supporters. You can do that underneath this video if you'd like. I look forward to your comments. I'll engage with them, I promise, as I always do. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again real soon.